Hello and welcome to another LEGO Train MOC Showcase video. This is a custom TLR Class 442 saddle tank engine. This is nice because it's good to make a custom locomotive for the first time in a while. Probably a few months. I think the last one I did was the 7-wide upgrade for the streamlined tender engine. But before that, it was around February time near the beginning of the year, I think, since I've built a custom locomotive, particularly in the TLR class. But this is nice for a few reasons. So you see the overall shape, and obviously this is following on the design I did for the Smoky Joe locomotive. If you haven't seen that video, I suggest you go check it out because it is a very cool little tank engine. But this had its own thing going for it. So for the TLR class of locomotives, these are completely custom, completely fictional, or at least that's the idea. I've had some comments come through in the past where they see the custom engines and go, hang on a minute, that looks like this engine. So yeah, when it comes to building these, I just grab the bricks and build, and they tend to have their own stupid idea for them, but sadly this one didn't quite work. The whole idea was to have this cylinder detail. Yes, it's been a while since I've built something this simple for the cylinder, but that was supposed to be behind the wheels. Now this started off kind of strong, but then I ultimately decided to build a locomotive like this. We have the boiler, then we have the coal bed between the boiler and the cab, instead of having the coal bed behind it. And with the overall shape, having the cylinders there, if this were a real life locomotive, it wouldn't make sense. So sadly, I kind of have to scrap the idea and just put the cylinders in front of the drive wheels. And it's not a bad thing because it does look more realistic. But at the same time, the main idea of this locomotive was destroyed. But another good thing about this locomotive is that it has blue wheels. Yes, it's been a long time since I've been able to use these blue wheels, in particular the drive wheels. These are the standard large size, and I have loads of drive wheels of this size just sat to a side, not being used for anything. The tank engines are probably going to be the better use for this size because all-round tank engines are smaller locomotives than the tender engines, and the ones that I'm building at 7 wide demand larger wheels. So going to the front, finally, at long last, 2.5 minutes in, you can obviously tell that light grey is the secondary colour for this locomotive. I don't know what it is, but whenever I go to build something in light blue, particularly a custom build, light grey is always the other colour I go to instead of black. I don't know if it's because it's just nice to see two light colours together, or if it's just because at the time of me building something in blue, I don't have any appropriate black parts available. I really don't know, but I think it's just a funny coincidence. But one good thing about this is that I can use these grey buffers. So yes, these are real things that are official LEGO products. You could probably buy these on Bricklink for a fair price. I don't know, I haven't looked it up. But these do exist. I have 3 pairs of these. 2 of them are being used on this locomotive. One at the front, and one here at the back. The third pair is tucked away, being used for a future model, should I ever desire to use them. But, again, it's just nice to be able to think, oh yeah, I've got this, I can put that on the model. And there are probably going to be a few more times where you see this. Going across the boiler itself, it's a very simple design, something I've used a lot of times before. The 2x4 slopes making that nice cylinder shape, but not quite across the body here. So as you can see, I'm using some 1x4 tiles to kind of level out the side of the boiler here, because obviously if I try to go around even more, it will, I was going to say it doesn't look right, but I like the idea of it just coming round and then going flat into the side of the base plates here. It's not perfect, but I'm not too fussed about that. That's something I can live with, and I'd rather kind of have this sort of shape where the slopes are as close together as possible, rather than them sticking out a little bit further. Even then, if you look down here, you can see that small gap between the base plate and those side plates as well. So a bit awkward, but again, not the end of the world. This isn't something I spent too long on. I think this took about 2 to 3 hours, which is quite amazing because with all the tender engines I've built, they take up to about 3 days. It's good to build a train in about 2 hours again. I haven't done that in a long time. So going backwards now, or going to the back I should say, drive wheels looking good there, nice and simple. These front 4 pilot wheels are connected to their own bogie and they are swiveling on their own unit. The 4 drive wheels and the 2 pilot, what's the word? Trailing wheels, that's it. Remember the terminology. So basically, everything you see here is fixed to one rigid base, and that is something that is something I want to use more often, or at least as much as I can. For the reasons of having it all on one rigid base means I get to squeeze the wheels together, and there are loads of locomotives where the wheels are really close to each other, and there are times where I try to design said locomotives but can't get away with it because of how close they are and with how small the radius is of the official LEGO curved track pieces. The wheels just collide and it causes derailments, and yeah, it's just not a good day at all. Also, the kind of back area here, as you saw with the Smoky Joe locomotive, kind of is the same thing, where the coal bed is between the cab and the boiler. The idea of having the coal bed here, from what I understand, is so it's just a simple mechanism of feeding coal directly into the boiler without there having to be any shoveling. Easier for the cab crew, but it still kind of looks weird in my opinion. It's something I'm not used to. Obviously, it's not a conventional design, but with how the whole thing kind of came together, that sort of design was kind of forced, which is a shame because I did want the coal bed to be behind the cab. But again, I'm not complaining. Alright, carefully, there we go. We can now have a look inside the cab. Also, we got doors! Oh my goodness. I found some blue doors and I thought I have to use them now. So we have our driverman, that's who is in charge of this TLR class locomotive. And of course, as we go into the cab details itself, we have all of the controls, but no firebox. It's like a tradition now for my locomotives. It's, I think I've explained this every time for the past dozen or so videos too. It's always because I want to make sure that it is as sturdy as possible. So if I go to pick it up in one section, it doesn't break apart for any reason. And there are times, well, when I say there are times, it's only been about 2 times ever. There are times where I try to make the coal box, I'm losing my mind, the firebox design here, trying to get all the arches and the actual fire details in there, but it becomes so loose, it's just so delicate, and frankly, I'm okay sacrificing that detail, mainly because obviously the models become more sturdy, but also you're not going to really see inside there anyway. The only times I'm ever going to really show anybody that is if I'm at a convention, I've got my own stand and people say, oh, can I have a look at your locomotive? And I go, yeah. But how often am I ever going to go to an exhibition, first of all? And secondly, what are the chances of me running into that picky bastard who says, oh yeah, let me see inside your cab. Ooh, we're missing out a detail, 0 out of 10. Yeah, we all know that bastard. So, there we go. Interesting little video, but I hope you all enjoyed. This is a nice little tank engine. It's good to have some more tank engines on the railway. Good to make a custom locomotive as well. Oh yeah, I forgot about one more thing. The whistles. So this is a new whistle design, just using some side-plated bricks. And I've got some 1x1 hand bricks there, using some golden handle pieces as the whistles. That was something I tried to do for my new Thomas the Tank Engine. Let's end this video quickly. But yeah, seriously, that's something I wanted to try before. Couldn't get around to it then. Thankfully, I was able to do it now. And I think with that sort of space, it looks a bit weird, but kind of nice. It's, it's a space filler. I like it. Right, let's end this video before I start saying more stupid things. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.